All right, welcome. Today, we're going behind the velvet ropes into this hidden world of art, a place where masterpieces hold secrets that, believe it or not, are only just now coming to light. And to find them, well, we've got to look a whole lot deeper than just the canvas.
I mean, we've all had that moment, right? You're standing in front of some iconic painting. Maybe it's Vermeer's The Milkmaid, and you're just in awe. You're admiring the incredible way he uses light, the quiet dignity of the whole scene. It just feels complete, perfect even.
So you see this beautiful, tranquil scene, you glance at the little card on the wall, and you walk away feeling like, okay, I get it. I know the story here. But what if that's just barely scratching the surface? What if the most fascinating secrets aren't actually on the canvas, but are hidden deep inside it? Like the painting itself is this time capsule, holding stories the artist never, ever intended for us to see. So how do we even begin to find them? Well, it's because the world's great museums, they aren't just galleries anymore. They're also becoming some of the most advanced research labs on the planet, and they're totally transforming our whole understanding of art history. Okay, just take Operation Night Watch at the Rijksmuseum, for example. We're not talking about a simple touch-up here. No way. This is one of the most ambitious research projects ever done on a single painting. And the craziest part? It's all happening live, right in front of the public. See, the whole game has changed. It's not just about repairing a bit of damage anymore. Now it's a full-on scientific investigation. They want to understand every single choice Rembrandt made, every material he used, and exactly how this masterpiece has changed over hundreds of years. So how in the world do they do it? Well, they have this whole arsenal of high-tech imaging tools. With these, researchers can basically peel back the layers of paint one by one without ever touching the canvas. It's incredible. They're revealing things that are totally invisible to the naked eye. And you know, sometimes what they find isn't just a little sketch or a minor change the artist made. Sometimes they find another masterpiece entirely, a whole different painting by a totally different artist that was thought to be lost forever. So check this out. When researchers x-rayed Wyndham Lewis's painting Praxitela, they found a huge surprise. Hiding underneath was this dynamic, abstract composition. So they start digging, comparing it with old art magazines, and bingo, they identify it as Atlantic City, a really important work by another Vorticist artist, Helen Saunders, that everyone thought had been lost for almost 100 years. But get this, they didn't just stop there. Using these incredible tools like elemental scanning, which can literally identify the specific chemical recipe for each color, and by studying other paintings by Saunders, the team was able to digitally reconstruct the painting's original, vibrant color palette. They brought it back to life for the very first time. And this kind of analysis, this ability to look at the very materials, it goes so much deeper than just finding lost paintings. It lets scientists and art historians decode the artist's unique, personal recipe book, you know? It reveals the artwork's entire hidden history. This is really the heart of a field called technical art history. And the whole idea is to treat the artwork itself as the main clue, the primary document. You use science to figure out the story of how it was made, why it was made, and what it was made with. And this isn't just for paintings either. Take a look at this object from the Rijksmuseum. Okay, at first glance, it's a painted turtle shell from the 17th century. Cool. But the materials it's made from, oh, they tell a much, much bigger story. So, analysis shows it's a green sea turtle, and it came all the way from the Caribbean or Bermuda. And just like that, this one object becomes this incredible nexus point, connecting all these different stories of global trade, of Dutch colonialism, of natural history, and even military history, because these huge, strong shells were sometimes actually used as shields. Scientists can even zoom in to the microscopic level. I mean, a tiny cross-section of paint looks like layers of rock, like geological strata, and each layer tells its own story. With that data, they can reconstruct old-school techniques, like this 17th century recipe that shows how to grind the blue pigment smalt with honey just to keep it from discoloring over time. Amazing, right? Now, all this technology is incredibly powerful, for sure, but the tools themselves don't just spit out the answers. The real breakthroughs, the big aha moments, happen when people from all these different fields, scientists, historians, conservators, all get in a room together and figure out what all that data actually means. You know, Robert Erdman, who's a lead scientist on Operation Night Watch, he put it perfectly.
He said AI isn't replacing anyone. It's not taking over the conservator's skilled hand or the art historian's deep knowledge. It's just a tool to make everyone more powerful at what they already do. And you can really see this collaborative spirit in action when they have to decide something huge, like how to treat the night watch. It's not one person making the call. It's this super structured group process. Scientists, conservators, curators, they all get a say, they all weigh in, and they actually rank all the arguments to reach a group decision on the best way to move forward. And for contemporary art, well, the collaboration can be even more direct. Instead of trying to reverse engineer an artist's process from centuries ago, conservators can just, ask them. These artist interviews are absolutely priceless. You have creators like Mark Monders giving virtual tours of their studios, explaining exactly what materials they're using and what they were trying to do. So, after all this, what does it mean for how we should look at art? Well, it means we need to start thinking about every single piece in a museum as having its own secret life. There's actually a name for this idea. It's called an object biography, and it's the concept that an object is born when it's created. Then it lives this whole social life as it gets bought, sold, displayed, even changed. Its story is just constantly evolving. And all of this leads to this really profound shift in how we think about this stuff. An artwork isn't some static, frozen moment from the past. It's a dynamic thing, an unfolding story that's still being written by time, by circumstances, and by the incredible work of these researchers. So, the next time you find yourself in a museum standing in front of some amazing masterpiece, don't just look at the surface. Take a second and ask yourself, what kind of journey has this thing been on? What hidden stories is it just waiting to tell?